already. Please, Fred, please take a seat. Good evening. My name is Bogdan Popescu. I'm the director of the Romanian Culture Institute in Stockholm. A warm welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. This year we mark the International Holocaust Remembrance Day with an evening dedicated to the memory of the Holocaust against Roma. How the history can be recovered, preserved and passed on to the new generations, especially in an international context that is marked by re-emergence of radical ideologies. So conflicts, wars, and during the Second World War, around 25,000 Roma from Romania were deported to Transnistria under the Antonescu regime. Only about half of them survived and were able to bear witness to this tragedy. So tonight's the discussion is both an homage to the Roma victims of the Holocaust and an opportunity to reflect on the shared history and to educate the younger generations and about the fundamental human rights and of course to fight against the discrimination, xenophobia, anti-Semitism and all other forms of intolerance in order to make sure it will not repeat again. I'm pleased to introduce our guest tonight, Delia Grigore, Romanian writer, researcher at the University of Bucharest and a Roma activist. Fred 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻, well-known Roma activist in Sweden and in Northern Europe with over 4 decades of experience in human rights, the promotion of Roma culture and the fight against discrimination. And Arina Stoenescu, Romanian-Swedish researcher, lecturer at the University of Södertörn in Stockholm and also editor at the Pioneer Press publishing house. Thank you all for accepting our invitation. I will not take more of your time as this evening program is very dense. I will just want to shortly present the moments of this program. We'll start with the screening of an adapted version of the documentary filmed Roma Tears, made in 2006, directed by Luminița Cioabă. And at the end of the evening, the short fiction film Ducache Lila, Letters of Pain, produced by the National Center for Roma Culture, Romano Kher. We'll have also a poetry reading by Delia Grigore from her poems on the Holocaust in the Swedish translation of Dorina Brendusha Landen. We'll have discussion based on the volume that was published in Romania, The Holocaust Against the Roma, an album of memory and gratitude, a very nice volume, published by the Department for Interethnic Relations of the Romanian government. Also, we'll have a second book launch, a bilingual children's book, The Ring with the Horse Head, The History of the Roma told to children, published this year by Pioneer Press. Also, you already had the chance to visit the exhibition Holocaust Against the Roma in Romania, created by Romani Glinda in collaboration with the Roma Social Cultural Foundation Ion Cioabă and the Virtual Museum of the Roma Holocaust. I wish you all a very stimulating evening. I am pleased to pass the floor to Fred 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. Thank you. Fred, thank you so much.
Thank you. So, thank you. I am very happy to be invited here to the Romanian Culture Institute to speak about the deportation of Roma and Jews from Romania to Transnistria. And I have been choosing to make my presentation in Swedish. Is that okay for you? Okay. As I want to start, jag vill tacka för inbjudan att tala om den romska förintelsen här på Rumänska kulturinstitutet i Stockholm. Alla folkmord är ett brott mot mänskligheten, men alla brott mot mänskligheten är inte folkmord. Men i det här fallet så var det både och. Det är 81 år sedan kriget slutade och i måndags den 27 januari så var det årsdagen, 81 år då Auschwitz fångar blev befriade. Det är något som i veckan här har lyfts på många ställen i Sverige och inte bara i Sverige utan faktiskt hela Europa. Vårt tema är att berätta och synliggöra de mindre och för allmänheten kända förintelser och arbetslägren som finns i Europa. För det har aldrig berättats om det. Mina kära vänner. Det är alltså 83 år sedan romerna i Rumänien utsattes för ett av de mest systematiska och grymmaste förföljelser i landets historia. Med start i juni 1942 inleder Antonescu-regimen massdeportationen av romer och judar till Transnistrien, ett område öster om Gnezder. Över 25 000 romer, både kringresande och bofasta romer, sändes till dessa områden under extrema och omänskliga förhållanden. Den händelsen, den tegs ihjäl. Och all dokumentation gömdes i arkiven och kom inte fram förrän efter revolutionen 1989. Roma Tears fick veta om händelsen först 2007 då vi tillsammans med Luminița Cioabă från Rumänien vars föräldrar var utsatta och att vi tillsammans skapade utställningen som vi nu kallar för den okända Förintelsen, som ni senare kan se delar av här utanför. Luminița började intervjua familjer och samtidigt skapade hon filmen Romska tårar som vi kommer att se. Filmen handlar om romska överlevande som berättar hur de blev utsatta. Alla i filmen talar romska, men det finns en engelsk undertext i filmen. Rumänien var allierad med Tyskland och önskade föra samma ideologi som som tyskarna, nämligen ett renrasigt Rumänien. I första hand så handlade det om romer och judar. Rumäniens president 𝐲𝐚 Antonescu hade förstått att det skulle bli svårt att samla in alla kringresande romer för deportationer till Transnistrien. För det hade det kommit ut så skulle romerna börja fly och flytta ifrån de här olika lägren där de bodde. Och därför så skulle det bli svårt att fånga in dem. Och de skulle gömma sig i skogen eller uppe bland bergen. Antonescus plan var att skicka ut gendarmer som besökte de olika lägren för romerna berätta om det nya landet Transnistrien där de blev lovade land, boskap. Det skulle bli så mycket bättre att bo där. Romerna skulle få med sig allt, eller ta med sig allt vad de ägde. Och nu så skulle de transportera sig själva med egna hästar och vagnar. De blev lovade guld och gröna skogar. Den andra fasen av deportationen var nu mycket lättare då man hade fokus på de bofasta romerna. De visste man ju var de bodde. Så det var lättare att ta hand om dem. Dessa familjer, de transporterades med tåg i överbefolkade boskapsvagnar. Precis som man gjorde i Tyskland. På vägen till Transnistrien så blir den romska karavanen utsatt för förtryck av både gendarmer och även av rumäner som slog och misshandlade romerna i karavanen. Gendarmerna börjar nu råna romerna på deras värdesaker, både på pengar och på guld. När de olika karavanerna kom från olika platser runt om i Rumänien och sammanstrålade i Transnistrien så rådde vinterväder. Det var snö, extrem kyla. Romerna insåg snabbt att de hade blivit lurade. Det fanns inga hus som man utlovat, utan utgrävda jordhålor. Där kunde de samlas i en familj på 6 till 8 personer. Inga sängar, inga värme. Många dog av köld och hunger. Vi kommer att se filmen Romska tårar. Den är ganska lång. Men vi kommer att avsluta i förtid för att ge möjlighet till samtal om filmen. Så jag tror att vi ska sätta igång filmen. Och tack för att jag fick ordet att berätta om det vi kommer att se. Tack så mycket.
Thailengo di la baimose che alle celesti amboldel, pătărindoi sua universo, i ceraia taishonuto, ando drabarimosa stardion, călenle cașt, luludearele puv, teo destino parugliol, tai sasi șucar, se numa duda. Mui la puveaco, sarotav la ceareaco zele, Lenindoile dromesa anglal le ia cânța caringo cam. Saro angluno la puveaco ando anglo amilai. Tai atunci că cârdo păpărujen Godiclindoile lângă pacaga ditidă șucar, rudisaile te delne căpitea imos andai pac. Tai pendine că orcana ande lângă drom, sâtea ven saroilo romano, uje, din doi ori catarnacân cam limos civavaco. Le romanei îngerea, ce ordinele divanurile de vlehcă din doi pe coilole manușengă. Tale manuș, cia te ardele cec data. Tai orcana să alengă darte de îndum ale romanei îngerența, ca deacă durile vițatar, sarocerii la puveatar. Taile romanei îngerea, de orcana sas, taia și le pașa odel.
Scobăr, Doamne, pe pământ, ce-ai făcut, câți pe mine ai văduvit, câți pe mine ai văduvit, câți copii ai sărăcit.
Ce mai zic ăsta?
Că doar ai ziua nouă, că coada să băiat face.
Ca Nailel Germaia, în 40, ca nașuche pe andocem amenia din România, 𝐦𝐢𝐧𝐬𝐤𝐚 𝐦𝐢𝐧𝐬𝐤𝐚 pirasa pot treanda țării, pirasa pe Caraca, pe Debuleaia țărența. A venit nems, ce nacânte, ce dicălim pe că manevra, de țara amenie, de ale drumul Antonescu, amenia de țară. Încă 𝐦𝐢𝐴 nemța, 𝐦𝐢𝐴 țărența, urdonența. Pendenia Stoenescu, ca de urmă, ca naracadile, Stonii crăstu cu colei romeni. Cadea, andel vis colea, andel șila, cu graș cu sea, cu vite cu sa. Ca de la rom tăbunce nigrale, ande Ucraina, ca ja mipengă că se căra but, ca ta nemții se căra but, moșii but, puvea but, ai si te da lucetnică na cădea. Ce nigra lucecă, al Isailu, ande urma ca na ce poți să război. Al lui Isailu, eu românul le neam sosa. Că pendeale coicle, hai mansa ne române, că jas dur, cu pisarat ce mă bute, că pisarat e căra războaie, ca și pe Ucraina, pe Ucraina, pe Rusia.
Andel bărșca de la când a venit să atunci când a stat Antonescu, barou, urai cu doan, cidea pe haidea pe ordinul tenerile române de România, ai te îngărâle de Rusia, ce ca îngărna ameon.
Ai luat jundari băduț, ai da amende, te pornisara taciana cai. Numai să am meserii de la daua asta, te-ai gea să le gratență că ai pășune. Te-ai balit, te-ai grea în cărea asta. Dacă era asta butică, cave, bacleangă, rachiacă, balengă, soară cola care asta buțin.
Hai să lineme canina megando ca să le căra, ca să me bale, ca să me bacrea, ca să me guru, ca să me averuri.
Le ordonența, le grastența, îngărdeam de Rusia. Îngărdeam pe ordona haini, love, galbi, love vlasica. Podui grasa cu ordon, hamuri, ordona că să aveți să listea că ne avem băximei, ai neturi, salineme, somnacai, love.
Ai cărdea cu oaie, cadea, pe serii, ande urma socării, ai el hal cu marea cea. Care vă tacu? De pe bărculii congrar, Gheorghe Miuțescu. Ai cidea-me cărdea că cu oaie baru, ande comuna Ștefanciul Mare, hai gindeal Urdona, hai gindeal Grastel, hai gindeal Seap, hai cidea-me, avile, am dat prin raioane hal cu marea cea. Hai cidea Salhumin, am dat prin raioane, că atat, hai cărdea tăi cu oaie am dat linde. Ce le ardeam în luna lui Mai.
Халявна казури по дром. А канака марна мехар cu marea coți, motona ține cu o înainte. Mă genale har cu marea poie când ea merge.
Podrom numai podrom. Deci asta da verga, aja verga. Zandarea lina amendo gurile gaveco, cadaleco, hai ajucot la amendo gurința. Deci asta podrom andul gawa, po 24 de ore. Cât e agreat, deci asta.
A lăsat cu alistru. A lăcat cel ce duce la ordona. Dar cu marea pașa lege. Care legă controlul în galbi. Și în cavila metealul un istropai, pune că lă controlul. Rogel pe schildura. Rogel ca pe el galbi. Unde e tot de pe anacadele de pești.
Aceti din alehumne galbil barăli și arena la restaurante, hai lena hopai oandova, asta na canale galbi 𝐲𝐢𝐴 mai puțără manruroi na cavenale. Sau s-a șteală ce canea de peste. S-a venit și o sărnale pe hărame, pe gurile el calțângă. Ce veneam cu anisturi și punea vine în Germaia, pune tideam el Germaia, lineam în primire el Germaia, hai îngărdeam el Germaia, andăctan, Jinde Valea Plângerea în 3 duble. În 3 duble ce beream o timpul cu doar Milah o sea. Iunie, iulie, august, jando septembrie beream o ce. Edicina ca nasa orba te împuștina me te mundana me de Valea Plângerii. Ca de Valea Plângerea în iesa armata e todesa la pomalu, pralu, rândul, te țări din an de hară.
Apende irigina cu de care e europlano ăsta. Ce n-a mea. Că la cadea pajamul. Pajamul creat la cadea.
Janau.
Ce n-a mea. Că să bută sufletul. Să but sufletul.
Pe n-au și noastră de vreo.
Col mai jană.
Țara cadileam. E rudarea, e
Zlătarea, e usarea, semnații, cărămizarea.
E căcale de făgărașa.
Seal modesas.
Seală-ți unii la lumea că s-o sa rom.
Ame canagălea moce. Linie cu Corhozo, linie el Grasel, linie el Urdona, linie el Țăre, linie el Magarel, linie el Hamuri, ca să Hamuri, povărnuri, linie el Scule, el Hărcumi, ca să mas, ca le avem cu soțal.
Ciolovici, avile, linie el Magarel, ca târom, că da geo cu adui gras. El Grasel, linie el Urdon. Sa Dobrojeanu, Urdona, Mândri, Mârșaengă, ca să ale, hai să ando Urdon să ale ance, șucino anje ruda șucine o tupol galben go ce poli, suna pune, bucea, bișarea, rupune, sosa, metilimbarea, bucea, saline, dularea bară, sale, bucătace.
Păviscolo baru pe naptul cămii. Ca și el Urdona, și el gaghea, în manat tot am mai avut. Am văzut că pătecuța să ținuă. Că la șule stari drana le ceanga. Na cela că pungontea le cântea. Hai cela cadea până. Hai cela ai pute ca umă să-l până o ceașă în asta miră, o ce cadea. Hai cela crânel mei, o ce.
Linie, îngărdeam pomalul le Bugocu, ca să le bordea cărdi. îl bordea cu de asta numai să pime 2 metri de pu. Hai, patul meclu, cadea că malul ando patul meclu, patul, sară patul, agrogojina, caștodine, creția, suluma, hai pu oprar. Numai sare udar ca în această amesară unde beci cu ocoti. Ca diti sare. O coșuna, soba, na, cani. Felul de țăria asta, de țăria ca tine n-a legat de că te încăr în pau, te pau pe milai.
Și le-am manangă, manas, sânge soții. Ce mai urea asta mea? Că mulea mea mare manuș, fă 2-3 în cagea, ca să menea muri. Pele pe borgea aia, mule. Apela și mai manan două borgea. Pe orice, n-ați mai cioleantră, că da baci gena pe si familia, să potește cu pampul, nici cu borgai. Cam crena poșo, ce haleale o nemetolo, mule definitiv.
Pausalea, mule cu șave, cu zandangali, mule cu sea. Doamne ferește, care le-am oce, și începe-i poștar panji, familia de borgei și ce hara, și ca cărți de lodeh. Ca cărți de lodeh, cu ce lumină, de-al muia canale homocotal. Să o trăi, bre, să o mai trăi, să o cărdean, să o la șardean. Tale om pende o coce, cu cole coșamulo, cu cole stihomni, cu cole humule. Mă nasli.
Hașile că groapa bordeiești.
Sostar meclela, că știi mine.
Arată-le până rândari, gromnea ei și avără. Hai cu de-asta luce.
Mai rovena handai groapa hode. Anda cada samara khera, cada la samara viti, cada la samara bali, cada la samara rânduri.
Мерна боката, мешанали муле сарбешоне карамизы какалай. На каса пай, савис колури сагор чогмо сагочи. Анали ням сачу один ахмея гочанду бурдей. Аля матум богвис колок чогмо пенали шагор гомнята мерна гочи.
Отходяме фокум почане трамистрия. Сао сале хала, сао нале стехамерелас. Сюда сале кальжука, хацуни нале жукаландалени. Bocale.
Mera sa bucata, hasta he pe avrese. Sida sa rum calendar pura khasali. Kara sa ma pe ka sa ma ni tiga khasa. Khalem manush ku khalem grat khalem. Jukal khalem.
Cutea bușula titirai rum. Muli de dimineața răcăla muli. Sare copidia mai risas. Coda potretul cadea thuli baro moi pelati cadea. Bari bul barava bar până thule. Sodica hame. Că și ne împihările cărum, cadea cărum, baro, barba, peleste, ca iti hebal. Mamea la pobacu. Hai săra, pa mesa mai seavăr. Hamu roda de la mui. Tinahan, că rom tu metehan, ai mas romnea cosă. Ca e mule romni.
Chiar acasă e bomba, îl curuzoși. Ande gohnie, la gurumnece, gurumnece.
Măra cremă că curunga penem că porumbelo. Hai păhau la ndalva asta mă bibi am goca cu na halazân cu cameras că o trăvime purungs. Dar atunci ara mea ce mai hale mătăcini ce mai cap de când aile mando abu. Mea ce tot ce mai hau că hale mando bugo. Hawa so de la mam gâde o gâde de la le poam pe pal mule, ca mule ori jucre că ori bucă so sa grație că ruve.
Ce mai roge la pe soca?
Mule rom.
Ce mai roge la soca?
O mule că uite că so sa la mama că la mingă ce la.
Huctilna mescai peli soare ce cai trăina de puco să e bară. Huctilna le rusu cu șănali, tabela ta cărnali tocana, tanena mingă pucharu ta bitina mingă. Tame Salavilo multa, jucal salavilo te na mera sa ma obligime te khasni.
Sa o sala shoda sale love galbi, sa o sale galbi. Trăi la bitine la o lună galbono țino eroile lonesti.
Beneam doi bărș, andi la gărea, al harcumarea. Cai prin janina ale harcumarea al homen, da sa galbis că pisava sa ja, sa handogavan de Rusia, la sa hamengă habe, ta khasas. Făsui, columpirea, soara cadio la pe.
Dena amecata colhozo. Munduco haiago. Colompirea. 30 la grame colompirea haiago.
30 la grame colompirea, 30 la o. Hajdena ame pekshon. Coașon de la ame podui strecut sa o caici. Hai, lisale că na, so ha ande verdana. So majasa tacinasa șoasa ameriat, caleruș tacinasa. Anasa andolagero lonogota, bicinasa agogota, bicinasa melioga, mangogo. Soara casa cinasa pe mărci.
Hai ni cărdea mea marigeța și muleam. Al husoai ce codola, de la lețoalea, de la mehabe, de la o, de la tirala, de la masa, s-o da și de la ila, ane la cără. Hai ni cărdea mea marigeța și muleam.
Rușul s-a ciormacă, adică na rom, hai romnea. Tola le oprăm, o să te asalata în față pe drum. Iubește pe asta, apoi ți dau drumul. Te-ai nolestit de te-ai nolestit pe te-ai nolat codat. Satul ăla rusul, hai sala la taroce pe droma. S-a năcazul, baro.
Sovena lența, anglamende rus, la puterea sa huchelnali, anglamende, angloseaură huchelnali. Taman ma pingăr solendari.
Sama romni, te-ai trins aură. Din nemții tovlaș, torușul. Satelela. Mi s-a palalete, nu, domnule, n-a ca să înțelegi tu. N-a ca să înțelegi tu. Că la lichea deama dab. Pagreau pun rău. Mi-a mai știi găleu, gălea mai dur. Te-ai dat la pușcăn la șorău, că nu-l pune pun. Că de prinde măgăl ce ai, că stau otelat. Te-ai tărit să de majotie, te-ai pracusat de la.
Ce mai zeandu așa, că s-au oi cu ațiții de baro, n-a știi mai asta că pa o să le măgă până. N-a știi mai jos. O loji să le mavilem le păhânța ca dicea, vilem le păhânța păhangi. Când o bugoci mu că n-am melgaje, ca ja să am dar n-am melgaje. Gena stuiag.
Avilei pagajami. Calculev cibea. Ande cutari în tank aici, ande cutari tank aici. Pagajami pesa coriga. Calculev cibea.
S-a maștar pral. Aca s-a maștar pral, poate mi s-ardeam foarte but. Păi pralo o să am gândit parica na gările sa pe druma. Aca sa parile sa pe druma. O da bușol valerica în piceșlo.
Atunci am godat prendeam gadac. Și tu ca mes, teni crăca dale și-au găs, sodel este hal. S-ar trăi loce, trebules iag, trebules tud, trebules pai, catarles tu ca de la butea, ca se trail. Hai mai să am trei șave, ca n-așa să apar pe alea mai ceman din România. În loc te l-am gășavena în Angalii ca să bară, te l-au ca dales să nu găs, șudeles, hai mudarle handoiv.
Po când posa că groapa bari, asta e groapa cu de bari, ai trageam amăgdeite șudavle hoce, că halea pe mgodala asta, că n-ai sus ani creles, hai n-ai sus mai anele în România. Me ni cărdem angălea în Angalea, răslem o ce po când po că trageam uite șudavles, hai me țodem mai roavles în Angalii.
Gălea grom, dar ciordea și o tărnou. Te-ai nașle palale, te-ai ele pușcă, palal, te-ai de-al poran de gali. Apoi și-a oră și de napodroma, că n-am atingă la le bucatari. Și de la și-a oră, te-ai măgnale până să sale bicicletă. Te-ai pierdit la bucata tipusul, tot ziua perna asta că n-a și de la chișeasă pe mănuș.
Vai de mare amare val încă peli, că n-am ami sus atehu la vami, peli amare val peli, nenorocime. Marna hamare rânice, mare dumie marna, le șaurân le pun răsa, le romnean marla tele romen marna pe râsul lindar.
Abilitare armata, e română. Haidea mui ca dea pe le rom cu dolar pură. Dea mui. Sau da știți, se-a 𝐝𝐢𝐴 jahamența, tenacan de România. Da știți, sau n-a știți, hai sa nango, hai până rango, n-a ști laptul ca și le-a încaci. Ca n-așunde el până rangă, el n-angă, îi cădea, hutile sea, hai line pe pala armata, hai nașăn.
Sărgea la cu dar și mai nale margina, și te-a răsesc și palal ceanglal.
Păr
Paraven ale zalu ale gomneam, paraven ale găune, paraven ale găpulpe, muzan, ale cigen ale corațar. Ca și la glea cu mai paralel magarea, el urzona, sârgen ale pușeța, anzal urzona, anzal magarea, pagan ale găpângă, îl grasengă, ce n-am mai zean.
Havena dui gaisi pe falca de hel urdon, hai tradinas. Tale gai so kerel kutia. O cholovi ko pe ko divano. Tale cu strelai, kerela ko strelai. Sirjan de la ko colim pelitele hai muli pașo șanțu. O șoran de șanțu ai bulup. Hai pai. De sarte pătimil mai mișto te merel.
Agana din care am mintea parcă din 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐴. Am de gurdosa de șuiec și aurul. Hai na când-i neamț. Hai puște-ți-le pe drumul. Tot de mitraliere, hai mundade sau orăm ulelul orațar, ulelul canașul paia.
Unii rom ca sale și are palalcora. Unii sa mai bare, că de pumnea ca pânră, n-aști pirenas. Motorane că bești ca ta poșanțo. Ca n-aptu că m-am rot, hai pai. Ava parpale, hai n-aptu că te has.
Na casa palmule, na casa e paurăsă, na casa. Că suce cărginou, ce mai linoi, codolen, mule, ca așa că nigrale.
Sau ocile, hai și lob cu socru caiac. Hai și lob furo caiac. O ceai și lob pângango, nango, vageles. Hai gel mui, n-am cărma, ca ce cămuzară în malgaje.
Tot și la rom. Tot și la rom mulei, aproape gata din acan de Pasarabia. Avele neamța ca la paral, că avele o război. Pușea mea că colonelul, generalul s-o hoda. Unde? La România. O pisadea pe si coroana. Hai, na cadea mea min. Tot, ce mai i-am patru, cum ciohă. Gen de ori, dacă de porșanțuri, hai na câmpul podul trecătorii. Pentru că n-a creat de Pasarabia, că n-a mana aia mea de treabă. Pasarabia mai isipen.
Haleam patima destul, haleam roimos, rovasas, se pisarasas. Când și mai arăsa hordal. Mai aproape, ce n-avileam atunci și s-a cașa aia mi-e definiții oci. S-a cașat. S-a mi-e destul în cazul destul patima. De la ora tanda, am arăt până oră de până rangă. N-ace mă tos. Hai da sa pa la arăturii, gadea, hai și un apel, îl cion picolan, ne-am arătat pe am, ne-am arăt până. Na și mai avasas, i vocale, trușale, ca avasa apel droma, ardenale, iroplaiența, pamarășără, garagioasas, eriată, tunericu, arăsasas, pitus avasasa, pe puftele mosa, toasa me pe părăsi. Ganasase, cărahea me iag, te peca mingă boambi, te peca se hahvaresu, ci cărasa daratar, canagelas, bomborgi sardi but lumea aici, darasas, când bomborgi că de la canagi cana iag cele, de la hoci, da mundare la definitiv.
Hai la urmă canana ca hordal, pe mine merga cu mare plăcere, așa mea del cara, dena me melea, hai dena me Tudoro, hai rovem pe amende, hai roa me pe lendi, hai să mă tare pățimine.
Hai că n-am boldeam, să hodie la patradea cu hai na masă, hai na tărdeară în ale româna din ale Tihan. Stați să ieși și mâncați, că nu mai e nimeni după voi. Hai robe na parlamenti.
Alengătorule Rumânska în România.
Hai, e capă, și mine mi-e
Bine apă la România.
Și acep și mine mi-e plu.
Nabăstărtioanau și-au Romehco, că numai de ea ca diciol pe o ilole romengo, sarotavla tișaiaco ca toa gorle bară paieco. Nabăstărtioanau și-au Romehco, e dudale camestica e anglela tărdiol pe te omui, andogaraimos la iagaco, ta o sunga imorsi vandola puvea cu așelande de ocolin. N-a băstărtiu anau și auroro mehco, că numai de te balo șonuto șudelo străfea imos le cerayengo, si gaindoito camblimos anglal, dântialo ceri. N-a băstărtiu anau și auroro mehco, te iasfasi obrișin le cereco, ta edilile slobozimasti te avel o drom, tu mare anavehco o ce.
Ia
Droma, me punrența prahomea andipu, ajucherau le caștate pabon, 𝐰𝐴𝐧𝐿𝐤 leveșesco. Darau te jau pel droma, te napagau o iaca, cai soventele, mașcara mare divesa hasaile. Romnia beșen pașodrom, 𝐼𝐢𝐴𝐚 𝐸𝐻𝐿𝐤𝐴Nța putarde. Darau te jau pel droma te nașunen manolmule, cai acile opre mașcara mare țahre bistarde. Roma, naken, podrom, iec, dui, trin, but, birateschiilesa. Me vastența prahomea îndopai, ajucherau temeren aliva.
Väggar. Med fötterna djupt i jorden väntar jag på att träden ska brinna ända in i skogens hjärta. Jag vågar inte gå på vägar. Tänk om jag krossar ögonen som sover där nere mellan våra förlorade dagar. Våra kvinnor står vid vägkanten och gråter med håret utslaget. Jag vågar inte gå på vägar. Tänk om de döda hör mig, de som blev kvar där uppe bland våra glömda tälten. Romerna går längs vägen. 1, 2, 3, många. Med hjärtan tömda på blod, med händerna sänkta i vatten, väntar jag på att snön ska dö.
Drumuri. Cu picioarele îngropate în pământ, aștept copacii să ardă până în inima pădurii. Mi-e frică să umblu pe drumuri, nu cumva să zdrobesc ochii care dorm acolo jos, între zilele noastre pierdute. Femeile noastre stau lângă drum și plâng, au cozile despletite. Mi-e frică să umblu pe drumuri, nu cumva să mă audă morții care au rămas acolo sus, printre corturile noastre uitate. Romii trec pe drum. 1, 2, 3, mulți, cu inimile golite de sânge, cu mâinile îngropate în apă, aștept să moară zăpezile.
Varecai sa siec puri. Katara ves daje. Na žanau mišeji. Na mai žanau de kana savau. Ai na mai are sau. Diklem kjo mui o te. Andopai. Ujo. Ai šukar. Sarkoite sas nevobiando. Sas mi dajše. Sas mi šej daje. Sos tarkides kotora šukema reske ai garavesle sandi posogi. Psiamen dosta te hasa akana. Ierti sarmanše. Na janglem. Sas bari bokote. Sos tarkeres tu tigni ai garavestu andoilo le caștesco. Tena penen sosem harcum. Sos tar izrante vasta cana pavareli iag. Iertis harmanșe. Ote iag sas pahome. Daie sositusa. Kai te liares. Janes soše me vasta na izdran. Da bașaven i paramici la Bukovski.
Någonstans fanns en gammal kvinna. Varifrån kommer du, mamma? Jag vet inte, mitt barn. Jag vet inte längre. Så länge har jag vandrat utan att nå fram. Där i vattnet såg jag ditt ansikte, rent och vackert, som om det vore nyfött. Det var mamma, mitt barn. Det var min dotter, mamma. Varför samlar du bitar av torrt bröd och gömmer dem i kjolfålen? Vi har tillräckligt med mat nu. Förlåt mig, mitt barn. Jag visste inte. Då var det hunger. Varför gör du dig så liten och gömmer dig i trädets hjärta? För att de inte ska säga att jag är gjord av koppar. Varför darrar dina händer när elden brinner? Förlåt, mitt barn. Då var elden frosen. Mamma, hur mår du? Vart går du? Vet du, mitt barn, mina händer darrar inte. De sjunger bokflodens berättelse.
Undeva era o bătrână. De unde vii, mamă? Nu știu, fata mea. Nu mai știu. De când tot vin și nu mai ajung, ți-am văzut chipul, acolo, în apă, curat și frumos, de parcă era nou născut. Era mama, fata mea. Era fata mea, mamă. De ce aduni bucăți de pâine uscată și le ascunzi în poale? Avem destul mâncare acum. Iartă-mă, fata mea, n-am știut. Era foame de acolo. De ce te faci mică și te ascunzi în inima lemnului? Să nu spună că sunt aramă. De ce-ți tremură mâinile când arde focul? Iartă-mă, fata mea, acolo focul era înghețat. Mamă, ce-i cu tine? Unde pleci? Știi ce, fata mea? Mâinile mele nu tremură, ci cântă povestea bugului. So please, Fred and Delia, I promise you that we will continue our discussion and our remembering, because it's about the future as well. And we will also end in a happier note with a bilingual children's book. So, but until then, please, Fred, Haikon and Delia. So until Delia and Fred are putting on the microphones, thank you again for joining us this evening. And thank you, Fred, for taking this exhibition and this film to the Romanian Cultural Institute. My name is Arina Stoenescu. I'm a publisher, and I'm going to moderate this discussion. So take your time; it's not a problem until you manage this. I want to say that the poems that you heard, they've been published in a beautiful book, the Roma Holocaust, an album of memory and gratitude. And Delia has some copies with her that she's going to say a few more words about that. But I'm very honored to have this discussion with you, and I want actually firstly to present you and to introduce you for the audience. So this evening's conversations brings together two leading Roma voices whose work has shaped how Romani history, culture and rights are articulated across Europe. Delia from Romania and Fred from Sweden. And this begins from the need underscored earlier this evening to commemorate not only the victims of the Roma Holocaust, Samudaripen, but also the historical context that led to it. So Dr. Delia Grigore, and I want to stress that because actually it's important for all the Roma to have good examples. Is Romni from Romania, and Romni, it's feminine for Roma. And Delia is an associate professor and coordinator of the Romani Language and Literature Study Program at the University in Bucharest, and president of the association Roma Center Amare Romența. And Delia has been active in the Roma movement for over 31 years as an activist, scholar, and cultural mediator, and work that spans anthropology, education, and the safeguarding of Romani cultural heritage. And through both research and activism, she has consistently foregrounded Roma self-representation, cultural continuity, and the relationship between memory, identity, and political recognition. So I hope that I covered everything. And now Fred Haikon, Rom from Sweden, and that's the masculine for Roma. is a Roma activist, writer and educator, a brilliant storyteller, I can tell that, and for a long time engaged in struggles for civil rights and historical recognition and social justice. And Fred's work has been central to making Roma history visible in the Nordic context, but also outside. Also particularly in relation to the state responsibility, memory and politics, and contemporary forms of exclusion. So you've been very much engaged in that. And you have been awarded Illis Quorum, a medal for outstanding contribution to Swedish culture and society. So I think that this is also important to stress, to show the new generations that is important to do good work and the recognition. And also the Raoul Wallenberg Award, recognizing exceptional commitment to human rights, courage and moral leadership. So very welcome. And I have some questions for both of you. Some of them are also related to your work. And I think and I hope that this discussion will bring together different perspectives from different countries, different cultures, and different political contexts. So the first question to both of you is, how is Roma history named, remembered, and transmitted, or how should it be? So, yeah. So Delia, please.
Is this on?
Yes.
In Romania? In Romania, the Roma Holocaust, we name it like that. Yeah. Samudari Penas, we name it in Romania.
I close this.
Was very recently recognized and still needs to be more recognized. Because actually in the schools is not taught, almost not at all taught. We now in the recent education law we have included an optional, a non-mandatory course about Romani history, including the Holocaust and slavery, but it's still non-mandatory, it's optional, and is not yet put in practice because the law came 3 years ago. We prepared immediately a working group of Roma and non-Roma, but mainly Roma historians and other colleagues, among which I was myself. And everything is there. We discussed with colleagues from the curricula that they are in the Ministry of Education, and they are the ones that are going to approve this. They asked for changes, we did, but still is not there in the schools. This year we lost it because school year began in September. We have a memorial, a monument of remembrance, memory of the Holocaust, together with our brothers, the Jews, also victims of the Holocaust. It is there, this memorial, and there is also an institute National Institute for Research for the Holocaust, named Elie Wiesel, after the very well-known Jew writer and important, and also was also a survivor of the Holocaust. But they are late in time. Only now, a few years ago, And this is still very little, in my opinion. There is also another thing in the education law, very important also, compulsory, mandatory teaching of the Holocaust and the Jewish history, still not put into practice. I mean, even if this one is mandatory, which is very good, still is not in the schools. I mean, very late, everything very, very late. For the Roma, we have a law about a Roma History and Culture Museum. The law was issued by the parliament due to our Roma deputy, Cătălin Manea, from the Roma Party, again in July 2023. We are now almost 3 years. This year will be 3 years in July this year. Still, there is no Roma museum. And of course, we were in a working group again, discussing Roma and non-Roma historians, ethnologists, linguists, other, and we have a concept, very detailed, how many halls, what to exhibit, everything is there. It's quite a book, 100 pages, official. We were contracted by the National Agency for Roma, which is a public institution. And the book, the handbook, let's say, is now in the government hands. So, concept is there, law is there, museum is not. So this is a big problem. Some laws are there. Roma are recognized as a national minorities after 1990, before not. And there are many, including a law against anti-Gypsyism, a law that punishes anti-Gypsyism from 2021. One of the first laws, if not the first, issued by the parliament that year. It was issued in January that year, very, very soon, immediately after the new year. Nobody is punished so far. There is no jurisprudence. So we cannot see the prosecutors doing something or somebody to be punished, because there is anti-Gypsyism in Romania. And there are these hate speeches, and there are discriminations and bullying, racial bullying in schools. And so on one side, the civil society, only the Roma civil society is trying, but is weakened now, I can say. Comparing when I was young, this was not, it was a stronger society, and we are weakened. We are not as we were, not so much in the streets, militant. We are a fewer and fewer, but also the state responsibility, where it is. There are no real reparations, only, I can say, good thing, the seats that are reserved for Roma in the high school, university. This is a good, only reparatory, only rectificative justice or reparation for the Holocaust. And it's a good measure and should be continued. But it's still very small, not very small, it is something. But comparing to everything else that I said, so it's still, we are waiting for this. This is a good book, not because we were a partner, Samare Romența, my organization, but it is an initiative of the Department for Interethnic Relations, governmental department in 2023, the version in Romani and Romanian, in 2024, the version in Romanian, Romani and English. This is in cooperation with us, with Amare Romența, and is not only poetry, but also survivors' testimonies, and also there are painting and like that, paintings and sculptures by Roma in the memory of the Holocaust victims. And it's a very high quality, because it is from the government money, and very high quality, excellent. And I'm proud to be a part of it, not only with my poetry, but also with our partners, with being a partner with Amare Romența. So this is another very good very good way not to forget, because it's an album of memory, and this is very important to be like that. So this is good, and I hope that it will follow other books like that. So a conclusion is for you to draw, to see. Is enough, is not, it is to be expected more. Nowadays, the last word, the 2nd of August is now recognized in Romania. A few years ago it was recognized by law, and we commemorate our Romani victims each year at the monument there, where is a part is Roma, is a part of the monument symbolizes the Roma culture, and we are commemorating this each year. And from 2 years ago, it begins bigger, this commemoration with the army, and this is very important. Before, only us with a small flower went there, but now it's good, because the agency, National Agency for Roma, actually pushed it to be bigger, you know, and symbolically bigger, and it's good. This is another thing to say, very good. So we are trying.
Yeah, thank you, Delia. And how about Sweden, Fred? You have been around for many, many years, and yeah, the same question to you. How is the Roma history transmitted? And what are your experiences from a Swedish and Nordic perspective?
Thank you, Arina. I wrote down your questions because my short memory is not so good, you know, so that's why I did it. The thing is that here in Sweden, it's our dilemma that no one before us has been telling about the Roma Holocaust, or as we Roma called the Holocaust by ourselves, it's samudarepe, which means the total killing. Though we have an own word to express the Holocaust, equal as Shoah by the Jews, you know. And the thing is that no one was telling about our Holocaust memories or histories, but we knew this about, in the Roma community we knew it, but not by common people in Sweden. And after, you might heard that our Prime Minister made an international Holocaust conference for 26, 27 years ago. We was on that conference, and whole Europe was there, and no one was speaking about the Roma. They were only speaking about the Jewish Holocaust. And we found it very strange. Why are we not including? Why didn't anyone spoke about our situation? So we start by ourselves. Because you are asking who is telling this the Roma history. We start by ourselves. The Roma start to tell the history. No one else would do it. And after that conference for 26 years ago, the Department of Forum for Living History start that very same year. And then we were speaking together with them because they was going to highlight the Holocaust and other democratic and racism's matter. And but I have to say, it took a little time to let them understand that even the Roma was included. We have to convince them. that even the Roma was together. And also, it's not only that, but later on, they start to make research about it. And there was, they had, how should I say, they had researchers in the department who start to follow how it was and how it wasn't, I have to say. And now I will say it's a different. Now they start to speak about the Holocaust in schools, because the living history, they give lectures, they have exhibitions and so on for gymnastic classics. And they are highlighting the Holocaust. It's not only the Jewish Holocaust, even the Roma Holocaust. And now when we are speaking, when authorities and other organizations, when they are speaking about the Holocaust, they always start now to include the Roma and the Jewish Holocaust. But what we feel sorrow, we Roma, we want to be included in the concept of Förintelsen. Because when government and other authorities, when they are mentioned the Roma samuderipe, they always said judarnas förintelse, the Jewish Förintelse, and the genocide of the Roma. So we are not including in this concept of Förintelsen. And I mean, Förintelsen is just a Swedish word. Only exists in Sweden, but still we are not included. So also when we are speaking in different conferences, Delia, for example, when we speak Romanes each other, we call it samuderipe. Or when we speak English, as we do now, we call it the Roma Holocaust, so everybody can understand. And we want to be in Sweden included in the concept of Förintelsen. It's very easy, but it's very hard to get there. And it's not only Roma Glinda who is highlighting the Roma Holocaust. There are lots of other organizations through whole Sweden, because now we are speaking about Sweden. So it started to be since 25, maybe 30 years ago. It started to be a little bit better than it was before. And we are working very close to the school department and to let them know, and to teachers to let them know that even the Roma was included in the Roma Holocaust or the Holocaust. And also I'm very happy to, as Delia said that they are looking for a Roma museum. I am a little bit confusing about that, because I don't want just a Roma museum, Roma Holocaust Museum. I want to have a Holocaust museum where we can be included together with the Jews and the other victims who was affected by the Holocaust. And I'm so happy, Arina, that now we have in Sweden, we do have a Holocaust museum. And the Holocaust, I would like to tell you that the Holocaust Museum are on Torsgatan, if you know where it is, Torsgatan. Please visit the Holocaust Museum, because we are working together with them, and we have an exhibition, a Roma exhibition in the museum. So I mean, that is one of the steps we are doing, that we have been speaking to government, and we have been dealing with them, and we also are now sitting 8 Roma persons, and we are sitting together and forming the Holocaust Museum in Stockholm.
So this kind of recognition is very important from the society, and being seen, and of course being understood and loved. This is what everyone wants and needs. What I want to ask you now is, because we are living in quite hard times. I think that this is kind of an understatement for the moment, unfortunately. But what I want to ask you is, how can we act, and why is all this terrible history, why is it coming to us? And I want to ask you first, Delia, so if the Holocaust against the Roma in Romania was not an important Nazi policy, because this is what you are telling, but that was a culmination of long-standing local attitudes. So what responsibilities do we have in the contemporary Romania? What should the majority society do? And in Romanian institutions in order to avoid that? So yeah, that's my question.
Between the two world wars, beginning with the 1920s, 1930s, there was a very important intellectual movement that was a eugenistic movement. Not at all coming from Hitler or from the alliance of Romania, of Antonescu's Romania with the Germany of Hitler. No, it was inside Romania, schools of bioeugenistic in Cluj, in Bucharest, with high, very important sociologists, ethnologists, important and considered important even today, including medicine doctors. And I will give just one example, or many, but I have no time. Sabin Mănuilă was the head of the Statistics National Royal Institute in Romania between the two world wars. He was one saying extremely bad things about Jews and Roma. About Roma, I would say, retarded. We measure the level of intelligence, and it's 30% less than the Romanian peasants. And they are infecting the Romanian race. And all these eugenistics, they went in a magazine, bio-political magazine, seen as scientific, as research. And there were many, many other, including in this trend, the famous Traian Herseni, sorry to say, Dimitrie Gusti, they were around, ethnologists, important ones, good from other point of view, but bad for Roma, what they wrote about Roma. And others, many, 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 Parhon, sorry to say, Gheorghe Marinescu, doctors that studied the different groups and interpreted who is superior, who is inferior, who, before the deportation itself in 1942. So they wrote, it was very highly respected, this so-called science. Not only in Romania, it was also in Great Britain, in United States, don't worry, everywhere, in Sweden, everywhere. So, but also in Romania with high-level people. And this is not recognized by the Academy of Romania and by some historians working there. Like, I will give names, they are alive, we can discuss. Viorela Kim, Petre Matei, important historians. Petre Matei is in the Institute 𝐤𝐢𝐴 working, and the other one in the National Institute, Nicolae Iorga Institute for History. Both of them, they diminish very much in their books and articles, scientific articles, the importance and the influence of these eugenistic thinkers in the policy, saying, no, they were not influenced. How? But they were heads of research institute. That one that proposed this idea that the Roma and proved scientifically, between inverted commas, that Roma are retarded and should be expelled somewhere, not to infect more the Romanian race. He, in Sâmboteni, County Arad, where he was born, he has a statue in front of the school, and the school is named after his name. Today. Nothing to comment. There are still some statues of Antonescu in Romania. There is still a very important movie by Sergiu Nicolaescu after 1990 about Antonescu as being a hero and a martyr. With the money from the state, no problem, because he was very important. He was talented, but before 1990, very much about the communist illegal fight, and after that, very much about the new trend. Antonescu as the martyr of the communists, of course, against the communists being the ones that killed him, he being a patriot. So there are still such problems in today's Romania with this. I'm not saying to put down all these statues. Maybe some need to be put down, like the Antonescu. But Sabin Manuila, you should write under it what he did. Good and bad. There, to be there. This is what I want, to be everywhere. As I want the monasteries that had slaves, Roma slaves for 500 years. Every tourist is coming to see the monasteries painted outside, beautiful, wonderful. Okay, I'm not going to ask to be put down these monasteries or demolished. No, but somewhere visible, this monastery was built with the slaves. We know the numbers, everything, of Roma slaves. They had this, they owned slaves. I want to be known. This reality too. It's not cancel culture, it's a new narrative to be added to that narrative. I need everybody to know that Stefan the Great was great on one side, but he was a slave owner. I need my reality to be there, everywhere. And this means memory, and this means reparation. If not, I'm still in my country feeling somewhere in a corner, not really as it should.
Yeah, so this kind of recognition and reparation is very important. And now I have a question for you, related, Fred. Because you have a lot of experiences of introducing this, the Roma Holocaust in the Swedish context. My question is, from your experience and your actions and activities, I'm wondering about the consequences that when both survivors and the society as large fails to acknowledge the suffering of the Roma, and how does this silence affect memory transmission across generations? Because we need to take care of the children and the future generations.
I rewrote your question so I could answering it a little bit better than I was thinking from the beginning. And in my rewriting was that how was the Roma affected, the survivors was affected, and their family, and how they was living in the society, and the silence of that was ignored. Their silence was ignored. And it's very difficult because we didn't have so many survivors here in Sweden, Roma survivors in Sweden. They came quite late from Europe. But as Sweden wasn't involved in the Second World War, means that our Roma was not a victim of the Holocaust here in Sweden, the Swedish Roma. But for me and other Roma, it was also very sad when I grew up and became a little bit older, and I understood that we had Roma from Germany living in Sweden during the war. And how did they feel, or felt, when they knew that their relatives was victim in Germany or in Poland, and they couldn't reach them? And the thing was also that Sweden, as we said, Sweden was not involved in the Second World War, but Sweden has a very dark history about how it was. Sweden, so they call themselves as a neutral country, but Sweden let the German pass by the train to get weapon and military people to Norway. And to get back to those people who came from Europe during the 60s. And we was asking them, how, can you please tell us about the Holocaust, what was happened? And no one would tell, because it was so horrible. So they didn't tell anyone, not even their children, because they found it so horrible, and also they were ashamed to tell this story, because they didn't want to tell the truth, what happened with them. That means that we don't have so many stories, histories from Roma survivors. But now we start to collect them, and we put them in print, and we make interviews, and there are some video films. So it's still, I mean, I am 81 years old by myself, and I'm thinking, who is going to tell this story after me? We have to educate our Roma. We have to go out in school and universities to tell them how to work and how to tell their stories. They are maybe not children, but most of them are now grandchildren. And they have to go out and tell the stories, and not to be shamed what happened to their relatives before. And also, in your question to me was how media is speaking about the Roma. It's a quite long time, no, long time in this matter, it's not long time, 25 years ago, it was the open speech to all the journalists. They have the freedom of word to write. And they was calling us zigenare, as we don't call ourselves in articles and so on, even if they knew that we are calling ourselves Roma. And also, if we have the time, I would explain why we are calling us Roma, but later on. And also, it was a family who called me for 3 weeks ago, and he said, "Fred, please, in this article, I know it was a Roma crime, but why do the journalists have to put out the ethnicity? You could just tell it was a crime begun. You don't have to tell which ethnicity it is. And that is also what we can't, it's often that it is like that. And we are making a report to the department about that, and we are giving it up to the Equality Ombudsman, also Diskrimineringsombudsmannen, but it's not always we succeed to stop this. And we have, for example, you were speaking about racism and discrimination, and why are people speaking bad about us? And I would say that is the intellectual, the academic people who have been spreading in their papers who are the Roma, how are the Roma behaving. And there is one article from Vitterhetsakademin, that is an academy in Sweden, and they made a competition, a writing competition, to write what you know about the Roma. And it was lots of intellectual professors and so on who was writing articles about the Roma. And those articles, I would say, it's grunden, how can you say, the ground to get out and to describe how the Roma are. And to read those articles as they was writing at that time, it's a very horrible, and you get tears in your eyes, how they are lying about the Roma, how they are, how bad they are, how dirty they are, how they are spreading diseases and so on. We are not worth even what you have under your shoe in those articles. And that means when the academy are writing, or researchers are telling who are the Roma, and no one is complaining or giving up and telling this is not true, then what they say will be the truth.
When was this made?
It was about 1800 or something. It's very long time ago.
Not now.
No, not now. Not now. Because now we have another situation here in Sweden. I'm very happy to be a Swedish Roma because we are working very close to the government and to all the authorities in Sweden. So even. Oh, I won't make it longer. But anyway, later I would like to explain why we call us Roma.
Yeah, and actually this is, so we are getting close to an end, and it's going to be some questions from the public if you have any. But I want you just to conclude, because you are both of you Roma speakers. Yeah. So please tell us, and you can start, Fred, with explaining about the Roma word, but also what does the language mean to you, and how you are using that. Also because we have 2 books actually written in Romani as well, the Căldăraș variety, which you are both speaking. So please conclude with a question responding about the language, and then the floor is open to questions from the audience.
I will try to make it short. 1971 in London, it was a very big Roma Congress. And nearly all the biggest Roma organization was assembled outside of London, and they decide that we will have a national hymn called 𝐤𝐻𝐚 𝐤𝐻𝐚. And we will also take away all the names of zigenare, zigeuner, gypsy, whatever has the name with the set and so on, and call us what we ourselves calling us when we are speaking to each other. We are asking each other, are you Rom, are you Romni, or whatever you is. So we will take back the name of Rom, which means a gypsy. And you saw in the film, there are mentioned gypsy, but the film is old. So, I mean, that was the time, the way they were speaking at that time. So even in England, or the English-speaking countries, they are now changing to Roma. And about the language, I love my language. And also, I like all the dialects. Because here in Sweden, I think we are, maybe I'm not saying wrong, but I think we are unique here in Sweden. We are speaking at least 12 Roma dialects or varieties in Sweden. And it's 10 years between the waves where we used to have language conferences, because there are so many who want to make the standardization of the language. And I am afraid about standardization of the language. I don't like, because I like to hear when someone is speaking and I can make an identity. Oh, you are Luvara, you are Churara. I can hear which group they belong to. So I really like my language, and it's yeah. I'll stop with that.
Yeah, thank you. And how about you, Delia?
Sorry.
Of course, the language is very important for any nation, and we are a non-territorial transporter nation, cultural and also political, I hope sometimes. Without a territory is not important. For us, our territory is our language. Because yes, with varieties and with the dialects, we can, of course, write in these dialects, we can speak, we can gather folklore, we can gather songs, paramicia, as we say, storytelling, stories, and but there is a common language, because we can understand each other no matter what variety we speak. There are phonetic and, of course, lexical differences, because lexical influence of different languages of the countries where we live. But mainly, the main vocabulary, the first 300-400 words, very important, the grammar and everything is the same. So, of course, in our university, where I teach Romani literature, I'm teaching literature in varieties, because each writer of Romani, in Romani language, they write in their variety, so that's very nice, this diversity. But there is also a writing, that is, the writing is standardized, the alphabet, not the language. And now this is improving, is changing. Because any writing, you know, alphabet sometimes is changing, even in the countries that they have as a national language that is national. So this is good. There is a literary, refined form that is taken from different varieties, different words, and empower these words. And we are writing literature in this refined literary language. So is very important for us, even the ones that do not know the language, because being afraid, being ashamed, because of racism, because being afraid not to be, you know, seen badly and everything, still for them is very important. For the Roma, even not knowing, to relearn, to try to, you know, for the children that are to come, to help them to learn the language is very, very important. There are nuances, there are things that you can understand the culture only if you know the language, if you feel it in such a way. It's very close. It's like our mother, of course, mother tongue, but it's very, very important for us. And sometimes even for the Samudari pen. There are, in 2012 we had a research, and we have a film, a documentary with a research on with the survivors' testimonies. None is alive now. From 2012 all died. But they are immortal there in the film. And one story spoke about the language that helps someone in Transnistria not to be shot, because they were considered that he stole something to eat, and he get a oathing, cursing himself in Romani that he didn't. And even that guy that wanted to shoot him didn't, saying, okay, if this guy says this in his Țigan language, maybe he was right, because they are afraid of cursing themselves, and okay, so he was not shot. And this is in a testimony of a survivor. So our language saved my grandparents in that moment. So that's very important. I mean, it makes you, I mean, I don't know how to. So this is very important, yeah, for us. The language should be there, and we should develop and write. We of course we write also science, research. It's capable. I mean, we do it. I mean, in media and documentaries, it's not just a language for everyday, speaking small chat. No, it's really a language that is very old, coming from Sanskrit, yes, from Prakrit actually, from the spoken language, improved and very important in the way with the Persian words, Middle Greek words, Slavic, Romanian, because we stayed a lot from, in Byzantium Empire gives us many things also. So it's very important language that we should preserve and develop and pass to our children and our grandchildren, and not leave it not to be forgotten. Yeah.
Thank you very much, and yeah, so a big hand to both Delia and Fred. Thank you. And if you have any questions, we can take a couple of them. We are just over time, so we need to kind of move on, but please take the opportunity now. Yes, Thomas? Yeah.
Thank you, both of you. Thank you, both of you, or all three of you. Delia, I have a question for you about where you ended with this. Yeah, I think it's on. It's my voice that's a bit too low. Sorry about that. But regarding the situation for Romanici or Romanes right now in Romania, could you tell us something about that? I was thinking about it last year in May. I was going on CFR and I met a man that I started to have a conversation with. He was very proud to be Roma, but he was a bit sad that he said that nobody in my family right now speak Romanes anymore. Is there revitalization going on? Or, I mean, I understand these things are difficult, but if you could just tell us a little bit about the situation for the language. Thank you.
What is very important is that we have, in my opinion, of course I'm subjective, the most important program of studies at the university. All teachers are Roma. Only Professor Sarau that founded is not, but he is honorable. It's like a Roma of honor for us. It's important to not being Roma and founding this, establishing this years ago, 32 years ago actually. And so we are teaching there the Romani language, also varieties, also literary language and everything. And we are developing, I'm teaching literature there, and culture and folklore, and in Romani we are teaching bilingual. So at high level is there, research is there. Also there is a good law that you can teach it in schools, but only if parents want, and sometimes there is no teacher in that county or in that school. They have to find one through the inspectorate, school inspectorate. Sometimes there is a stigma on the parents, saying that, unfortunately, that somehow Roma say that my beautiful girl is so white and beautiful and with blue eyes. You can say he's a Gaji, not a Romni. So why to learn this language and to get some accent than to be seen as a Țiganca, no? As a Romni. Better not. I decided not to teach her at home, not to speak with her. Why to learn now in the school? There is such opinion among some Roma parents because of this stigma that is still deeply there, because all this history, slavery, Holocaust, assimilation, 60 years of assimilation during the socialist era. It was a socialism that was a national socialism, not a socialism like in Yugoslavia, where we have a big history of literature there. The socialists there, the Tito, that dictator, wanted these minorities to be okay with him, so they encouraged literature in minority languages, not in Romania. Romania was a very nationalist kind of socialism, which is not, you know, socialism is not like that. But this was the variety in Romania. So it was late when our literature became to be, after 30 years, 30, 40 years ago, so very late. So we are trying. In the schools, yes, it's taught, not as much as we would like. There are books, there we have all these materials and textbooks. And the National Center for Roma Culture that you will see now, the short movie, the short fiction movie, is in Romani, you will see. Most of it, not all, and is about the Holocaust, about the petitions, about the letters the soldier, the Roma soldiers wrote when being in the war for Romania. Their families were deported, and they wrote a huge number of letters to the Antonescu, to local authorities everywhere, saying, we are fighting for Romania, we are good Roma, we are not thieves, we are okay. Please do not deport our families, or if you deport them, I want to go with them. I will quit army. A lot of letters were discovered by our colleague Adrian Nicolae Furtună, that is a researcher at the National Center for Roma Culture, Romano Kher, a sociologist, PhD in sociology, and he also cooperates with our program of studies of the university from this year. So he discovered this huge discovery, and they made also, besides article, scientific, this short fiction you will see. And you will see is also in Romani. So there are production of books in the National Center for Roma Culture in Romani. In our Amare Romența we have 6 books, bilingual literature books in Romani, because we have a literary circle. This album is also in Romani, so we are trying very much, and there is teaching in Romani also in Paris at the Institute for Oriental Studies in ALCO. There are some colleagues from Romania also there. Petre Petcuț is a Roma historian from Romania that is teaching history there. So there are some places where the Romani is taught at the universities also, but ours is bigger because it offers the whole graduation. You become a teacher, a translator, interpreter, Romani, and another language. Also Romanian, English, I don't know, French, Russian, everything that you can, Italian, everything. So it's good, we are on a good track, and we hope that to develop more. We need more writings. Writings in Romani, media in Romani. In Sweden, you have a radio in Romani, very good. And
but in Romania, you have a program at the national television.
There is a program, yeah. Opre Roma broadcast, but nowadays it's also in Romani. It used to be only in Romania. Now there are 2 colleagues, Sorin Sandu and Zita Moldovan, actors, Roma, speaking natively Romani, and they are now just there, they were employed. So it will be also in Romani. There are some parts. Opre Roma is from the national television. National television has quite a good language, you know, but all the other televisions are so free to do anything. I mean, the commercial televisions can hate speech during the pandemic was huge afterwards. We all the time go to the National Council Against Discrimination with petitions. Sometimes nobody is punished. National Council for Audiovisual is very weak. They are not doing anything so much against televisions because they want the freedom of expression, you know. But hate speech is there. We are fighting. I'm talking too much.
No, not a problem at all. I just want to wrap it up now, but I want, before doing that, you mentioned a lot of important people, both in Romania and in Sweden. And actually also about the Roma word and everything, I really want to recommend this bilingual children's book. And it's not only because I'm the publisher, but also...
It's good.
Yeah, thank you.
I like it, I read it.
Yeah, but also because this is a story, so it's both fiction and non-fiction. And it's a story about two Roma children trying to find out the history of their family, and starting with some artifacts and a ring with a horse head. Horse is very important in the Roma culture. They are trying to build up a museum. And in this fiction story, there are non-fiction spreads, non-fiction parts, where you can read about a lot of facts, checked facts by the Petre Petcuț, the historian, and also Nicolae Adrian Furtună is named here. Also Roma people, Catarina Taicon is mentioned here, Papusha. So a lot of non-fiction facts that are included in the book. So I think that's a very good start, and this is also a way of taking care of the future and reading together with the children and hoping for a better future. So let's end with this optimistic, because we need that much more than ever, actually. And thank you very much for your time, your wise words. And what is happening now, it's there is going to be a screening of the film that Delia mentioned, but until we are getting that, you are also invited by... so please.
I just want to invite the Romanian ambassador to say a few words.
Yes, good evening, everybody. I just want to... particularly, I just wanted actually to thank you for your presentation, for broadening up actually this topic. And I think this discussion is extremely important because this week we are commemorating the victims of the Holocaust. And we need to think broadly. We need also to honor the memories of those who perished in Holocaust. But I think what is the most important is for us, for members of all societies, to become a sort of guardians of the memory, to preserve actually the bad examples for the past in order to act for not repeating the same mistakes. And indeed, actually, I can tell you that besides all the critics, besides all the things that needs to be done, I think that Romania moved forward in this respect. Romania, how shall I put it, made peace with its own history when it comes actually to the very bad examples for deportations of Jews and Roma in Transnistria, about actually the very terrible facts of history which happened before. And of course, I'm a full supporter of opening up of a museum of Roma, not only of Roma, but museum of Holocaust, which has to include also the memory of all the people. And maybe it's worthy to mention here, in our Romanian government, we have also Roma representatives. So I don't see many other European countries with such an example. Once again, thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you, Dalia Grigore. Thank you, Fred, Mia, Rosario, for making possible this event together, commemorative event. Thank you, Arina, for moderating. We had also other projects before this with Roma artists, books, and we will continue definitely. We will finish with film, with this film. Okay. Yes, it's about 20 minutes. I know that it's late. Okay, unde l-ai pus?
Domnule mareșal, subsemnata lui Ludi Stănescu, soția soldatului Milan Stănescu, cu respect vă rugăm să ordonați ca familia noastră, formată din Joro Stănescu, bunicul soțului meu, Carmen Stănescu, mama soțului meu, și Florica Stănescu, cumnata mea, în vârstă de 10 ani, să nu fie trimisă în Transnistria. Vă rog să nu ne pedepsiți familia cu deportarea doar pentru că avem origine etnică romă.
Și am fost mobilizat din 20 februarie în regimentul 89 Infanterie. Și în timp ce lupt în prima linie, apărând granițele noastre, familia mea a fost înscrisă de către poliția Bacău pentru deportare, contrar ordinelor domniei voastre. De aceea, vă rog cu respect să dispuneți o anchetă. Și mai vreau să adaug că nici eu și nici altcineva din familia mea nu avem antecedente penale. Suntem o familie de oameni cinstiți. Încrezător în soluția justă pe care o veți da respectuoasei mele cereri și mulțumindu-vă, domnule mareșal, să trăiți! Milan Stănescu.
Borizaule de vlesa, zvakoges, taj zvakiriat, džikanalel mai lindri. Soske trebul te avela jaka. Som lošali, ke avela marohurdoro, ta pučavman, ande sosumnal kam avel.
și-ai bare mou te aveles bacht, tele la verdrom. Devla, de amen sol ca ștena casa dau ca paripe. Trașau andaramaro hurdoro Milane. Na hachiarau sosilena mența. Tainajanau caicamente ingherena men. Odel camavel pașamende. Pacheau chesaro recai si te aven ingherde bicialen poieclil cu Antonescu. N-a trebulte mu casa men. Sambut, camașunena men. O papu penel che camavel caniles, penel che hachiarelov cipota. Tu, sarsan Milane, amaroi losi paștute.
Luludie natraša. Liavere romenge kaj si oprofronto reslelenge hramomata keral, lengere romniendar ai peniendar. Penindoi lenge seaso pendean mangelitu mange. Cam ramo asle barenge, ramo tuke, ramo avime. Matraša, kerav seaso daști ca ștenau veningerde. N-ai so te kerenobare, memarama nadari România. Anau mange godis ardicau astute so indoi. Adai cadel manzor de cana asta ardiasea. Cindilo ilo andeman de cana gelion keral. O Milan.
Către Marele Stat Major. Eu, subsemnatul, comandant al Centrului de Instruire numărul 5, general Alexandru Poenaru, am onoarea de a raporta următoarele. Toți soldații mei de origine etnică țigani, care sunt foarte numeroși la acest centru, au primit confirmarea că familiile lor sunt deportate în Transnistria. Zilnic ies la raport, cerându-mi să-i las să plece să aranjeze situația cu familiile lor sau să-i eliberez din datorie pentru ca ei să se alăture familiilor lor în Transnistria. Întrucât centrul nu poate da curs solicitărilor acestora și întrucât nici măcar nu am primit nicio comunicare oficială în acest sens și întrucât acest lucru provoacă lipsă de motivare, vă rugăm să ne oferiți clarificările necesare. Șeful Biroului de Mobilizare Majoră, general Alexandru Poenaru.
Avile. Victorie. Garaul hurdura. Garaul.
Unde ceilalți, mă, firați-ai dracu de țigani? Unde ceilalți, mă? Luați șorile astea, dracu, de aici, mă!
Lasă-o! Ia mâna de pe ea! Ia mâna de pe ea! Ia mâna de pe ea! Lasă-ne! Lasă-i! Lasă-i! Lasă-ne!
Devla naleman. Mugma te dikau me chaves. Demazor devla. Teresa ulende, te lau me chaves ande angali. Heme penorian. Dai, kaisan. Papo. Na mukman.
Everyone, until we get the technicality, the film is not subtitled, but please, there is some wine and some nibbles. So, okay, how? What? But I think that just take and you can.
Biçalgyam lila, tasasa masinger de ande Transnistria. Citea men pașal eke panieste, obuk bučol. Tajogav Bogdanovka. Samasinger de trinojenca gurumniengere. Šutea men mai butenca familie se romengere. Se šlatka. Naja men sosate kerasiak. Mangasle de vleske de avesas de vesto. Se amari umutisi ande tute. Sau ghes merende sharo mapa shamende. Dikaslende tainai sote keraslenge. Ingeredlen eke bareja ueste tai shudelen andeleste. Trashas kaya kakamaveli andaramende.
Luludie Santu? Luludie Santu? Santu Luludie! Luludie. N-a pinjarez, man. Ne sono Milan. So chiar de tu că...
Stați-o că v-am prins.
Nu! Nu!
Zică, Marele, tragem.
Aceștia sunt părinții mei. Nu i-am cunoscut. De frică nu am spus nimănui până acum că sunt rom. Am vrut să fiu numai profesor. Dar acum, fiindcă știu, nu mai pot trăi așa. Acum sunt profesor rom. Pentru mine și pentru voi.